Yeah. First of all, I would like to share that how the process of dissertation goes. Yeah. I will mute everybody. Yeah. So if you want to graduate in time or on time, that you must write a dissertation. So start early, otherwise you'll be delayed. So doctorate students or MD students, doesn't matter, same thing. First of all, you must write title of your study, and what's the title, what is the theme of your study, and the purpose of this study. So second part is like you can start your paragraph. The purpose of this research or study is, or dissertation is blah, blah, blah. And also you must give a scope of study. My study is not from the beginning to the end. No, you must give a scope. My study, or for example, the church history, and okay, from the beginning to the year 200 or year 500, or medieval, or so you must give a scope, the study, and then also methodology. How are you going to research? How going to collect the data? And then how going to analyze the data? And then how can you develop from the resources or data, whatever you found? And so please submit first. And once you get the permission from me, then you can write a dissertation. And then most of your part of the introduction will be that your proposal is. And second part, you must develop the doctor of philosophy dissertation. So far, be honest with you, we don't have a doctor of philosophy students now. We don't have it. If you want to, then you must apply for that. A doctor of philosophy, PhD, and doctor of ministry, DMin, are so different. The purpose of the degree are different. Doctor of ministry is a very practical, and then you have some kind of experiment or experience, and then make sure that it works, so we can apply to our ministry directly. That's doctor of ministry degrees. PhD is you must develop your own theology or certain strategy. For example, church history of Uganda, then you must get all the information previously, and then you examine that. And because of this, I believe, or you found something more than the further. So far you have it, and you must have further things. That's why whenever I said at the end, you must have a future study. Future studies, those who want to study the same field, and you can go from there. So if you have not from further, we don't need any other things because we already have it. Yeah. Like Reverend Ruth, she gonna study about, write about dream interpretation, for example. Then historically, how that the people did that? Do you have any record for that? How about your early tradition, how they interpreted dreams? And how about the biblical things? Now, what did you find new things? Then, so you have to from there, and theologically this. Like, for example, you will write your mission strategy in Uganda, and for the doctor of ministry is where the the Westerners in the beginning came, and then we do this and that way, and then wow, that works, and probably this will be good. And then we applied that, and really it works like that. But the PhD will be well that the original missionaries, they did these things, and theologically this is what they did, but I believe that this is not as good as or whatever, or it's not really biblical, or this is not enough contextualized. So my way is, so you must develop a new way, which should be still bounded by the Bible, not come out from the biblical standard. So do you understand? I hope that you understand that. So anyway, MD students or doctorate students, please start earlier. Start earlier, and then write a dissertation. And then once you do finish it, then you have to have defense yourself. So we'll have a committee members, and then we'll have the defense. But before that, I will send your dissertation. Once I think that this is good, and I'll send to the external readers. I have to find that this particular your field expert, and let them read it, and then they will give me a comment whether this is good or this must be corrected, whatever. They will send me a corrections, note, and then I'll bring and I'll get back to you, and then we'll edit it and correct it, and then finally, oh, it's okay. Then we'll have an interview, personal interview with say committee members, and we'll ask, then you must defend. Then once you complete that, then you will get the degree. So it takes us time. Yeah. So because this is a very important, because once you write a dissertation, and somehow it will be recorded somewhere. And then also the MDiv students, if you like, that's your choice. For a doctorate students, you're mandatory, you must publish that. You must have at the least your own copy, and to give me with school, and then also one, and for the loan for anybody who wanna borrow your. So at the least you have to have 3 copies. And if you want to have okay, I want to give to my husband because my husband so much, help me, then you must have, you can have. Or some people, while I was studying, they support me financially, my church members or my ref, blah, blah. Okay, I give that. So then you can have more copies. Yeah. I saw my friends, some of them, they have 9 or 10 copies, and they give their friends, and because he got a wife who was starting, and then some people, they help him, financially. That's why he wanna give them back. Okay. So if you have any question, please let me know. So this is the housework. And another thing, if I want to further, yeah, also, when you are writing a term papers, please, in the front page, please follow this format. I sent you already. Please follow this format. So the first, you have 3 blank line, and third line you have this. Excuse me. Follow exactly what you have in the screen, and the change that the names will be, is okay. So just copy exactly same format, and then whenever you turn in your term papers or dissertations, whatever, please follow this. Yeah. So that I can record it easy. I hope that anybody doesn't have any problems with that, because last semester I talked already. Yeah. Okay. Any other question, please? Otherwise,
Professor, good
yes.
morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
This is Richard. Now, when I was reading
What? Oh.
the class, I'm not very sure in this class as bachelor students. Professor.
Yes.
Our network is so bad. Maybe I send a message.
Can you write, please, because hard to hear you. A lot of
the network.
Yeah, type using chat. Okay.
Is not, the network is not so good. Maybe let me say.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, some of you may not receive. I thought that I sent all, but some reason some of you may did not receive it, and I will send this document again to you. Yeah. Okay. Praise the Lord. Yeah. Okay, Richard, please send me them, text me. So I will send more details. Okay, praise the Lord. And Robert Charles, yes, for the MD, I asked 75 pages. In doctoral ministry, I do have 125 or more pages. But a page is not important, but your contents will be very important. That's why that the Ika and then Juan Luquito, they came to Africa, and then also they went to the pastors in Africa try use the apostolic church. If you want to plant an apostolic church, and or you want to kind of apply to your church, and he was so sure that it will work. Let's see. He's gonna come back to Africa next year and find out what kind of result he will get it. Yeah. So that's a doctoral ministry. Must be practical. You must have a data, and your data proves that you are right. Yeah. But the PhD, no, you develop your own theology. That's a major difference. And the PhD is much more difficult than doctoral ministry. It takes at least 5 years. Most of the people I see in my seminar, it takes 7 years. Yeah. Salita, you have a question? Unmute the phone.
Yes, Professor. I was just wondering how many pages of dissertation do the MDiv people have to do?
MDiv is just 75 pages, but again, the page limit is not important, but your content. Yeah,
okay, so we don't have page limit.
Oh, yes, we do. At least 75.
75, okay.
Yeah. For the MD. For the MD.
MD. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Professor.
But actually 75 pages, that's not wrong. I mean, it's not very long, because when you follow the format, 75 pages very short actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Reverend Ruth, you have a question?
Yeah, so for the PhD students, it's 125 pages, right? At least.
I asked a PhD for 150 pages, but a doctor of ministry is 125.
Sorry again, sorry.
So you are in the doctor of ministry program, and so the page limit will be 125 pages.
Okay.
But I want to, again, I want to have your data. That's very
Yes.
important. Yeah.
Working on it now.
Okay. Yeah. And then I hope that's a great, because that's a kind of a new field, not so again.
Professor, I've seen.
Okay, Richard, I didn't see your, okay, your PA student. I didn't ask, oh, you're the PA student. I kind of asked that go to the local class. Yeah, I focus on the MD or doctorate students. And then anyway, I did not ask a PA student to write a dissertation. If you like, please do. Yeah. Okay, is that answer your question, Richard?
I think so. So you want us to attend the local campuses, right?
Yeah, that the BA student, I asked that they go to local class, and then MD and then doctorate students come join our Zoom, because otherwise we
Okay.
have too many.
Okay, I'll contact Dr. Kayongo.
Yeah.
And then see.
Oh,
All right.
I see.
Okay, thank you.
Right, Jimmy, you have a question?
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm asking that for someone who are just beginning. Do we have to get a topic sent to you for approval, and then develop also what survey before we write the main body?
Yes.
You have to do the proposal.
Yeah. Give me your proposal first. And then I have to check that whether anybody else started already that. I don't want to overlap. Yeah. So that's a very important. And also, when you complete your proposal, that will be very easy for the next step, because when you complete your proposal, by that time you know what to do, and by that time you have kind of already conclusion. You just project your conclusion, but chances are while you are researching more, your conclusion may change, but you already have some kind of conclusion. So the between that you must plug in as you research that. So by the time you already have your research methodology and the scope of your study is already there. Form is completed already. That's why the proposal is very important. And then also when you choose the topic, try as narrow as possible, because if you have so many noises coming, if your topic is so wide, you're never able to finish it. Yeah, so narrow. And then as you need, you can expand a little bit. But don't give up, many people make same mistake. Even I said this, and still I know that some people will make a mistake because it's ambitious. Yes, I can do it. And then after 2 years, 3 years, still couldn't do any much and too much. And when you try to narrow it, that's too late. It's very difficult. So start narrow and expand.
Professor, I have a question.
Okay. Okay, well, Brother Moses, yeah.
All of us, yes, all the students will use you as a supervisors, or you will allocate some supervisors to some students to help us in the journey. Because I'm trying to see that if all the students have to come to you, are you going to read all our works and correct it? And there are some professors you will locate to some students to handle.
Yeah, so far I can do it. And if I have many more students, then I must ask somebody else. But that's why I will have an external reader who are expert in that field. So the MD students has one external reader, and then doctoral students I'll have two external readers. Let them evaluate. Yeah, for certain field I'm not expert in certain field, so let them as an expert, let expert evaluate that. Yeah. So especially the doctoral students, you must have your own hard copy, and then later on somebody read it. Ah, is this a doctorate, dissertation? Ah, it's a junk. I don't want to hear like that. So that's why I'm very careful. I want to keep the quality of it. Okay, any other question, please? And then also you have a format, the front page, even your proposal also use that the format, the front page format. And then also let me talk about this Christian ethics, that the syllabus. As you know that the Christian ethics is a very important, it's very critical, and getting wider. And it's Christian ethics is not just for the world, but ourselves also. And while you are studying this, especially while you are writing your research paper, probably you will know who you are. What I'm talking about is theologically who you are. Am I kind of a fundamental or liberal or something? Your paper will affect by your this kind of standard. So especially doctoral students, once you finish the degree, you will know who you are. And by that time, you have your own standard. Not because somebody taught you, but because you practiced already. So you know who you are. So by that way, the way you understand the Bible will be different than anybody else. Like I know that the Reverend Ruth and her husband, Joseph, both of them are pastors. That doesn't mean theologically you are always agree each other. No, definitely not. My wife and I are different, especially woman issues in the Bible. We are so different. So, I said that you are biased because, you are female. Oh, you know you are the biased because you are the male, like that way. Yeah, so it does not mean there's a bad. That's a nature. And then, so this Christian ethics is very important because you have been already applied that. And then by this course, I hope that you know whether you have been doing right or must be adjusted or changed or fixed. And then also it's a more complicated is because it should be contextualized. The Bible was written in the Asian culture, not the European culture, not the Western culture, but it's Asian, Oriental culture. So you especially think about that Jesus, he was eating so many times with so different people, right? And that's Oriental ethics. And then, so do not confuse, because Westerners or when they, write or draw the pictures and things, Jesus sit in the table and eat together. No way. There's no, at the time they sit in the chair and the table and they eat together. No. They have a table, but they are usually lean or sit in the floor and then they eat together. That's Oriental culture. But Westerners, they got this kind of a, they think Jesus is Westerners, but it's not. So, and then also this ethical standard. Westerners already kind of made it, but it's African culture and Asian culture different. So I want you to know that we get this Bible, and then how can you adjust to that? Somehow we must contextualize our own culture. So missionaries, they made a lot of mistake at the beginning because they don't know how to contextualize. For example, when the Catholics came to Korea, and then they do have issues about the funeral. The Koreans, I feel that that's too much. When your parents died, you must, after you're buried, and then you must have the cabin there, near there, and then you must be there a whole year. That's too much. And then also they really believe that your father or your mother came there. And then when the Catholic priest, they can, oh, that's so stupid, stop it. Don't bury like that way. And then the local people got so mad, and even they killed the people. So because they don't know about the culture. So the Christian ethics is involved with the culture and the anthropology also. So I'm interested then that how the people in Africa will do we have a same ethical standard or different? Maybe Singapore, maybe different. So I'm not trying to judge it, but try to appreciate. Because we must have a mission mind. Yeah. Alan Tippett, he said it, unless you can appreciate different culture, you shouldn't be a missionary. Yeah. We must appreciate culture. I appreciate the Uganda culture. I appreciate the Singapore culture. It's so different from me, but still I appreciate it. I'm not gonna go all the way, but I'm focused on your research paper. I give 15 topics, but if you want to have other topics, please do. Ordination is like gender issues. The female ordination is okay or not? Yeah. So when you do that, you must have biblically. Oh, how about Deborah? Is she a pastor or what in Old Testament? Yeah. How about the Phoebe, the workers of the Cancria, Phoebe? And the Apostle Paul said that, okay, take this, and at the end of the letter, what said? Yeah, please provide her needs. So at the time, the culture, that's the professional evangelist. Yeah, so she was a pastor or role, and this kind of. But how about your culture? And so, but Timothy chapter 3, verse 7. Likewise, this woman is the deacon's wife or a woman deacon, and this kind of gender issues. Yeah, and also healthy succession. Nowadays, Korea has a lot of serious problem because the pastors, the big church pastors, they want to give that church to their son. Even if they don't have a son, they try to give them daughters. Is that right? Like, so there is a church, is a company. So it's a good argument also biblically. And ecological issues. Yeah. Keep the nature and prevent the natural disasters, right? We cut the too much timbers, serious problem. Amazon cut too much timbers, that's a serious problem. And they developed the Amazon because there are gas. So American oil companies dig, and then polluted all the environment there. We need oil, but what should we do? And then also the environmental pollution. The China, they polluted the ocean. They are most serious. Some said that about 70% of all the water pollution come out from the Chinese rivers. Yeah. So what should we do? So the ecological, and then it makes also the weather change, the climate change, right? Oh yeah. So next one is global warming, climate change. This is a very serious. 2 years ago, Siberia was 36 Celsius. It should be iced, but how come it's so hot? And I didn't know. So if anybody want to that, please research about it. So there are a lot of pine trees in Siberia, and they are used in cold weather. So when they receive the sunshine in the daytime, in the evening time, it must be cold, right? Then they make it, the energy, and then also, emit the oxygen. But because it's hot, trees, they couldn't do much. So the carbon dioxide is very high. They produce a lot of carbon dioxide instead of make a carbon dioxide to the oxygen. And that's really increase the global warming. And then also Argentina, there are more than 2 billion, I don't know what, 200 million or 2 billion. They are cows, and the cows, they are poop, and that is really serious. When the cows are pooped, that a lot of carbon dioxide come, and that's a major reason of the global warming. They argue that it's more than the automobile, the pollution. And then abortion and the birth control. How about that? Should we have abortion? Or abortion, birth control, should allow or not? Yeah, this is also in the Bible, of course, that especially in the Old Testament Bible, no birth control, right? You know that Onan, he was punished by God because he tried to have control that thing. You know that story, right? So how you argue about in your culture, yeah. And divorce and remarriage. Oh, that's more serious right now. In America, I see that the people, the pastors, when they have when they divorced, usually they leave. But now in America, I saw that if the pastor divorced because their spouse, not this pastor's problem, but the spouse problem, then they can still accept it. Like, for example, a woman pastor is here, and then a husband has another woman, then divorce, and then still the pastor can be a pastor there. And then also another thing is remarriage. Oh, this man divorced like 5 years ago, and they remarried, and then they looked okay. Should I accept him as a pastor or not? And so, what is your argument? Biblical argument, and then also your cultural argument. Yeah. And then, oh, there's a more, we used to say the LGBT, but now they say LGBTQIA. It's much more complicated. What should we do? How can we deal with that? Like in America, that the Biden's cabinet, among the cabinet members, there are transgender. Yeah. Wow. What should I do? How about your argument? And then application of Christianity in politics. This is a very complicated matter. There's a lot of arguments. Constantine, the Emperor Constantine, he was the first person to use the Christians for his political ambition. And now, look in America, Trump, he used it. Also, not just Trump, Biden also, he's Catholic, and he tried to use the Christians to support them. How about the pastors? Should they be politicians? Now in Korea, I really don't want to see that, but some pastors, they make a political the party, and they call it Christian party, and all the pastors, they want to be a senators. Oh, I don't know. Personally, this is wrong, but I don't know. So your idea, because personally I said, well, the Jewish people tried to make Jesus the king, and Jesus avoided that. Yeah. So, like for example, also the Southern Baptist, they have this kind of stuff. We can pray for them. We can pray for the politicians. We can pray for the president. We can influence, give advice, or write a letter, or something. We can do it, but don't be a politician. Don't run the president. Well, lay people can do that, but how about pastors? Well, if you want to run the political position, you can resign and you can. But that's my standard. But how about you? And then also that the capital punishment. This is also serious. God created. And how can man do? Do we have right? Do we have qualification to destroy God's creature? But if we don't have it, the crime rate will be higher. What should we do? It's not easy. And euthanasia too. Oh, because some people have a terminal disease and then suffer greatly and want to die. Should we help or let them suffer continuously? Yeah. So like a Western movie is euthanasia is up to, the Western movie also, like he rode like the man rode a horse, and then when the horse shot by the gun and then wounded and suffer, the man, even he loves the horse, but I shot it and killed, not to suffer anymore. Yeah, that's a kind of euthanasia too, but yeah. And also suicide. This is not the easy topic too. Some people argue that if you commit suicide, you are not going to go to heaven, you go to hell. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know. You can. What I'm saying is, I don't know whether this is right or wrong, but I oppose a commit suicide, of course. But if anybody commits suicide, the person go to hell. That's not easy to say. And then also the another gender issues, equality and leadership in the marriage or the family, whatever. This is very serious also in everywhere. The man and woman, usually men go out and then work, and the woman take care of the house and raise the children. But now the younger generations, they don't want to have a children. Yeah. And then also both of them are working. Who represent the family? That create a lot of family issues. How can you counsel for this? It's some, young couple come to you, and then when they argue about the things, woman said, we are equal. The man said, okay, yeah, even equal. You have a woman's role and a man's role. Oh, there's no such a woman's role and a man's role. We are just equal for everything. And this is a funny thing. The extreme case I saw is, okay, men pee, and when they stand up, then okay, we are equal to the men too. So let's, in the female, even they stand up and then they pee. So they have kind of a device. This is too much. But how can you, if you're a pastor, what's gonna do? This is more serious than you think. Because people do not want to talk about it, but yeah, it's and then also business ethics. Yeah, do you really work for for your boss or for God? And what I'm saying is, who is your supervisor, your boss or your God? Yeah, because some people, they expect that, oh, you are the Christian, so you have a better ethics, so you come on time and work even if I were not present, but still you work hard. They expect that. And how about our human nature? We don't want to do that, right? So who is really your supervisor? And then again, that the environmental politics should always be. They are in America. If the pastor said, "Okay, let's support somebody," and this is violate the law. You cannot. The pastors cannot speak like support openly during the worship time. Well, personally, it's okay, but during the worship time, you should not. But well, many countries they do. Like for example, in Korea, the big churches, like in the Full Gospel Church, it's like 750,000 memberships, and then pastor comes during the worship time, and the pastor says, oh, deacons also, please come. Oh, hallelujah. This man is a really good Christian. He supports our church greatly. And now he want to run the governor of that certain province. So we want to see him. Oh, this man want to run the senator this time. Oh, we want to see the Christian senator. Okay, hallelujah. God bless you. Hope that was so. Then all the church members support that person, and he become a senator. Is that right? I don't know. Yeah. So should we use the Christianity for like this way? I'll use that. And then also blood transfusion. Jehovah Witness, they said no, no, no. How about the biblical, the foundation for the transfusion? Jehovah Witness said that, yeah, look, AIDS. If the person who got AIDS and then get the blood from them, that person, you'll get the AIDS. That's why God said that forbade that the transfusion. Is that true? Is that biblically sound? How about your argument and your cultural? Culturally, how are you gonna contextualize and deal with these issues? So if anybody die because of the lack of the blood, should they have a transfusion and let him die, or let him die because God wanted to die? Can you do that? Yeah. Okay. When you write a research paper, please follow this format. And first, explain the biblical background of your topic, and then what and how Bible talks about your topic, and how the early church and Christian tradition dealt with these issues. And second, develop your own theology in the contextualize the situation or environment. Yeah. And prove why your theology is right as much as objectively, not subjectively. Even you must do contextualized, but still. And perhaps most of the cases will be apologetic position. What I said is, because I'm Christian, or because I believe in Jesus, and also another thing is, because I come from California, or because I come from Singapore, I have to do this way, and my standard is. So it's apologetic. Doesn't have to be, oh, this is this is the way. No. My point of view, because my background is this. Yeah. So why I said this more details, spend a lot of time for this, is because your research will be the most important, because you will forget what I teach very soon, but when you research about it, you will remember forever. So that's why my class will help you to research and write your these research papers and your presentation. So the Master of Divinity student, 15 page or more, and doctorate student, so we have at least 20 pages. So I want you to spend the time for this research, and the due date will be, I'll do the doctorate student first, and then MD students. And then the time slot is doctorate students. You have a 15 minutes presentation and 45 minutes defense. MD students, you have 10 minutes and 20 minutes for defense. Yeah. And then I'll give you another first. So when you are ready, please submit the Christian ethics to your application, your presentation application, and which is degree you are in, and your name, title, and brief summary what I want to focus on. And please turn in, submit me, and the sooner the better, because I will serve the first come first service. So yeah, please turn in as quickly as possible. Yeah. Any other questions so far, please?
Professor, when is the due date? Sorry, this is Ruth here. When is the due date?
Oh, someone asked me euthanasia. Yeah, euthanasia is euthanasia. Helping
This is Ruth.
to die.
Ruth here.
Because I saw that some people, they want to die because they're suffering greatly. I saw that where Switzerland, they do have that. Even some Koreans went to Switzerland, and then they have a waiting list and want to die. So most cases, these people, they have a terminal disease and suffer greatly. painful. Every day is so painful. So they went there, and then they waited and make sure what he or she is doing. And then before they could die, they make all the wills and prepare everything, and then write a letter to their family and friends, everything. And then the people make sure you know what is doing that. You are doing this. Yeah. Don't you want to give up right now? No, I want to die happily and with dignity. Are you sure? Are you sure? They want to, most of people, they say that I want to die with my dignity. I don't want to show my last moment so pitiful. No. But for their side, their personal opinions, right? But how about the Bible? How about the Jesus said? How about the Old Testament say? Or how about the Jesus said? How about the Apostle Paul's point of view? And how about your point of view? Your Ugandan culture things, and then also how about the Singaporeans? Yeah. Because Korea, it's by the law is forbidden. That's why they fly to the Switzerland and then they do. I hope that that's answer your question. Yeah. So please, if you have any question, please let me know. You can send me a letter or you can text me, whatever. So I will, and then again, I will send that your original what you needed to do. Yeah, in the beginning I said that. Yeah. Okay. Let's have a 5 minutes break and I'll come back. Okay?